With our eyes on the skies this weekend here in the Northern Hemisphere, things are about to change. When we're thinking about the produce that we grow and what we are going to do with it afterwards, garlic is definitely one of those key, and I always call it one of the trinity. There's three really important crops that we grow when we are cooking savoury. Now I have quite a big garlic bed here and it is definitely telling me that it is ready to come up. However, if you are not sure what your plants are telling you by looking at them, you can of course always go by the sun. So this weekend in the UK we are looking at the summer solstice. So these went into pots and then into the ground around the winter solstice, and now we're at the summer solstice. It's time to get them up. Now, if you are going by what your plants are telling you, what you can see is that maybe some of them have just decided to fall over all by themselves. You get the yellowing of the leaves. You may even have some rust, or they may be bolting. You have the scapes on the top, and actually the scapes are also edible. But I am definitely pulling these up. Don't panic if you do have rust, because all you're going to do is actually remove those outer leaves, because these are going to be great for storing. So all I'm going to do, I am going to get my little hand trowel so that I don't break the actual stalks themselves, because I need them for what I'm going to do with these. Just going to go slightly underneath where the bulb is, and hopefully, there we go. I've actually got a nice bulb right there, and I can actually see just through it that it has already broken into cloves, which is exactly what you need. Now when it first comes up it is fairly soft, but actually if we're going to store these we do need to cure them, and that means that we need to find a way of hanging them up, or maybe even plaiting them. Now if you do have that rust on there, very simply all you're going to do is just remove those rusty leaves which just tend to be on the outsides. Try not to go too far down, because what you actually want to do is with the garlic bulb itself, you want that coating which when it dries will go that sort of papery kind of covering on the globe of the actual garlic itself, and that's going to help to keep it in its own packaging, nature's way. We don't need plastic. So all I'm going to do is the rest of these, I am then going to give these sort of little hairy roots here a nice trim. I'm not going to wash them because actually there's no need. As they dry, any of this mud will actually just drop off, and oh my goodness, it smells absolutely amazing. So I'm going to keep on doing this, and then once I've done these, I'm actually going to have a little go again at plaiting. And I'll be honest, it's a while since I've done it, so it could be interesting. So still rather scorchy out here at the moment, but I need to get all of this garlic sorted. Now I have already sorted out all the leaves. I've just given them a nice trim, and actually that's given me a really good opportunity not just to get rid of the rust, but also to see the condition of the garlic itself. And what I have found this year, which I've never had before at this time of year, is allium leaf miner. Now obviously they're around March to April time when they are laying their eggs. Then they disappear for a little while, and then they'll be coming back again in September time. So we're normally thinking about maybe our onions and our leeks, really making sure that we are protecting them. But actually, if you have garlic in the ground or any other alliums, I would strongly suggest you put over a really fine mesh at this time of year, because they are out and about. And as I say, I've never had that before. Now what this does mean is those garlics I cannot use in my plaiting, because if there is allium leaf miner in there, they're going to have the best life ever, because they're just going to have that ready supply of garlic just to be completely decimating all your stored harvest. Now I can still use those. I'm going to pull them apart. I'm going to squash them and mulch them down, put them into either some oil or some butter, into ice cube trays, into the freezer, and then they are portion sizes ready to use throughout the rest of the year. However, what I also found was something really interesting, and it was a little bit of vivipary in one of the stalks, and actually started to have little cloves of garlic starting to develop as well. And this does sometimes happen. It's a bit of a freak of nature. and I've never seen it in garlic before, so it's very interesting. So on to the plaiting of the stuff which is safe. Now I have obviously got rid of all my foliage, including the stuff which had the allium leaf miner in, not in my compost bin. That has to be either burnt or got rid of elsewhere. Do not put it in the green bin, because obviously that then goes forward as well. Now I'm going to start off with 12 of my garlics straight off, and the 12 are going to be for one plat. So I'm going to take 3 at the beginning, and these are fairly good sizes. So again, just having a sort through, making sure that I've got some really good ones, and I'm just going to pop them together with maybe the largest one towards the bottom. And I've already prepared my twine, so I've got 2 bits of twine, one for the bottom and one for the top when I have finished. Now this can be a bit fiddly. I say it's a while since I've actually done this. Let's see how well I can actually remember how to do this. So let's just do the knot nice and tight for the first one, and then I have my 3. I'm just going to get another nice big size bulb, put that in the middle, and I'm just going to put my stalks, 2 of my stalks to the right, my other 3 facing down, and then I'm going to plait it as if I am plaiting hair. So it's just making sure that that is going over and under, and I'm going to do sort of one complete plait to start off with. Now that I've done that, I'm then going to get another garlic, and I'm going to start with the right hand side on this one, putting my foliage down towards the left, and again I'm just going to plait from the right, going over that side. Then I'm going to plait that over there, and I have done a complete plait. Next one, and this one is going to go on the left side. So we're basically going 3 to start off with, 1 in the middle, plait, 1 on the right hand side, plait, 1 on the left hand side, and again I'm just going to give that a plait over as well. So you might need more than 1 hand on this one, but there we go. So I've got, so far I have got my main 3, I have got my secondary 3, and again I'm going to go for my next row. So again, going back to the middle, going right hand side over, left hand side under, doing a nice plait. And guess what, guys, we're going to go again for the right hand side. So again, getting another bulb, having that down the middle, going over, over, trying to do this as tight as possible. Now you could of course actually let the foliage dry off a little bit first, but what I have found when I've done this in the past is if you have really dry stalks and you're trying then to plait them, they get a little bit more brittle and they're more difficult to actually handle, and that means that actually it becomes even more of a faff. So I'm now going on to my 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, going back to the middle again, over. Try and keep those middle ones right down the center there, and then I'm going for my last few. So 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, and I've got 1 more. I might go for another. Let's have a look and see how this one actually turns out. Plait, 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 and another one. Now what you can do as well, obviously with the size of your garlics, is you can go for the bigger ones at the beginning, and as you go along your plait you can get smaller. In fact, I am going to go for another one. Unlucky 13, I'm going to go for a big one in the middle, just to try to hold everything in place, going down the middle, right to left, and so on. And then I'm just, with the last bit, just going to keep on plaiting until I am running out of foliage. So again, this bit's easier because you are just doing a normal plait situation. She says this is easier as she fiddles around with it. And then when you have done that, get your next bit of prepared twine, and this is where it's really important you prepared it because it's fiddly, and you're just going to tie the next one up. Now in theory, what we should have, in theory, when we hold this up, is we should have It's not too bad. It's a bit of a plaiting situation. I did better at the beginning than I did at the end. And then we've got sort of the rest. It's maybe not the tidiest, but what I'm doing here, I am actually separating the garlic bulbs a little bit so some air can get into it. And the best thing that we can do is make sure that we are going to be hanging that up somewhere cool, dry, dark, so that it can cure properly. And that should actually save you for around 6 months. After that, it does tend to go a little bit unsavory and a bit dry, but that's where you then go to your freezer ones, to these, and you still have garlic. So garlic, lots to be doing with them. I've got lots to still be doing with them as well. They're plaiting, and actually if you can't plait, just bunch them together, tie them up and hang them.